In this video, I will show you how to create security policy in Palo Alto firewall. As per our lab topology, we require 4 security policy rules. One from LAN to DMZ to reach to DMZ. Second policy we need from LAN to WAN 1 and WAN 2 altogether. 2 policy. Third policy from DMZ to internet so that the DMZ server reach to the internet. And final policy we require from internet to DMZ. So later on we will access these DMZ server from outside internet. So we require 4 policy to create as per our lab topology, and these are the zones and these are 4 security policy required. So let's start. Let's create from LAN to DMZ and LAN to WAN policy first. For that we need to go to policy security and click add. Then in general we need to give them a name, description if you want. And after that we need to type source zone and destination zone. Okay. And then the application, right now we will keep the default one. Then services and URL category, we will keep the default one. Action, we will allow this one. And finally it will be created. Similarly, we will create the other one. So let's go to our lab. I already accessed this firewall 192.168.100.200. I need to go to policies, and here is by default there are 2 policies we need to create. So click add. Okay, and here I will give them a name, LAN to DMZ. This is the name, and let me copy the name. Okay, at least in description you need to give them some proper description. Universal, okay. Tag I don't want to use, and audit comment no, nothing, just keep the default. Source, so a traffic will come from LAN. So we already create a zone with the name LAN, okay, and keep everything the same. Source address, source user, source devices. Destination is going to DMZ, so we already have DMZ zone, keep the default one. Application, keep any. Services, application default. And action we have allowed, and log at session end, and we are done. So it's so easy to create. So LAN to DMZ has been ready. Next we need LAN to internet. From LAN to go to the internet. Okay, so again click add, and here I will type LAN to internet. Okay, and I will give a description. It's better to give them some good description. In this case I say allowed host in the LAN zone to access internet. Okay, and the source, again our source is LAN zone going to WAN 1, and it can be WAN 2 as well. Okay, and one policy you can create. Application any, services application default, action is allowed, and we are done. So this is our second rule. We require 4 security rules. Let's click add, and next we need a DMZ to internet. Okay, so let me DMZ to internet, and you can give them a good description. Okay, we say allow DMZ server to access internet. Okay, and source, so we are going from DMZ to internet, so source zone will be DMZ, and destination is internet, so WAN 1, and it can be WAN 2 as well. Application any, services application default, action is allowed, and click OK. Done. Now the final and the fourth one is from internet to DMZ. Okay, because later on we will access those server. So let me give them a name, internet to DMZ, and the description I will say that from internet to access DMZ server. From internet to access these DMZ server. So for that I need the traffic can come from WAN 1, either from WAN 2, and destination will be a DMZ, and application can be any, services can be application default, and action is allowed, and click OK. So finally our 4 rules are ready, security rules. LAN to DMZ, LAN to internet, DMZ to internet, and internet to DMZ. Okay, that's it. And there is by default 2 rules. Intra-zone default and enter-zone default, and these are the application, and action is allowed. That's it. And if we go back, so we create this, And after that, we need to save the setting. Click on commit and click commit. So let's go back and we are done. That's it. LAN to DMZ we created, and then we create LAN to internet. Okay, and then we create, let's go down, and a LAN to internet we create 2, and the third one we create a DMZ to internet, which is here. Let me show you DMZ to internet. And finally the fourth one, internet to DMZ. Okay, internet to DMZ, and it should be here. So internet to DMZ. Anyway, I mentioned here only WAN1, but it can be WAN2 as well. Here WAN1 and WAN2, WAN1 and WAN2. Right now we are using only WAN1. Okay, and we are done. So these are the 4 security rule. However, from LAN to internet will not work, but from LAN to DMZ it will work, because right now we don't have a net policy. Okay, and also DMZ to internet will not work. From DMZ, from internet to DMZ will also not work, because we require another rules, which is called net rules. So commit is okay now, and we can test them only from LAN to DMZ. So let's go to LAN, and here open a browser, web browser, and I can type the IP address of server 1.4.1 and hit enter, and you can see this is a server 1. So I can access this server 1, and also I can access server 2 as well, which is 5.2, and again I can access. So both server are reachable from here. However, from here to internet is not allowed, because we need a net rule as well. So if I try something google.com something, so it will not work. Okay, so we need to wait, and we will fix that issue. And let's go to verify. So if you refresh, so here you will see hits. If you go here, so there is hit count, and this hit count is come on LAN to DMZ. Okay, and there is internet as well, because we send hits LAN to internet, so there is hits, but it's never work. And the last 2, there is no hits, because we never use DMZ to internet, and internet to DMZ is not have been used. So that's why there is hit count is 00. Okay, and also we can go to monitor, and we can go to traffic to see. So in the traffic they say LAN to WAN1. Somebody try from here, go to DNS, and you can see LAN to WAN1 DNS, and let's go back, and we went from LAN to which is called DMZ. So let me make them DMZ. So you can see from LAN to DMZ, I typed from this source, because this is the source 10.0.1.2, and I go to 10.0.4.1. Okay, because these are the enter zones, so we don't need net, so we access directly 10.0.5.2 and 10.0.4.1, and we use port 80, and the application was web browsing, action was allowed, and the rule which we create was LAN to DMZ, LAN to DMZ, LAN to DMZ, and session end TCP fine, and here is the byte. Okay, bytes, it's send and receive, and here is. So we can verify from here, and also from the policy, and everything is working correctly. So this is the way to create security policy to allow the traffic between different zones.